I'm Pete White. Now, I've actually owned this aeroplane for 20 years. I didn't actually intend buying an Aeronca, but it smiled at me in a hangar when I was looking at aeroplanes, and I was actually forming a group then. So not only have I owned it for 20 years, I've actually run a successful group for 20 years. Now, this aeroplane, as you can see in its colour scheme at the moment, it's in the colours it originally came out of the factory, or very near as I could. The whole concept of the Aeronca and the Pipers, Luscombes, etc., was after the war there were many military pilots, and they felt that they could get a killing by selling them some form of aircraft, and they tried to make it a bit like a car. So if you look inside, it's got a form of steering wheel, or a yoke, which looks like a steering wheel, and the whole point of that was to attract these guys and their wives and sell the aircraft to them. Now, Luscombes, they were pre-war design. This was a pre-war design, or developed from a pre-war design, and Pipers were the same. So as they went into the after-war period, all these vintage aircraft were aimed at the same market. Now, sadly, there was a recession on, much something we're used to now, and these guys sadly couldn't actually afford to buy all these aircraft, and the Aeronca as a company didn't last. But by 1951 they produced their last aeroplane, and they went on to do other things. And I know Piper went on successfully, and Luscombes another one that actually folded. Now, in this country we've got several type clubs. I've been running the Aeronca Club of Great Britain for several years. In fact, next year is the 20th anniversary of the formation of our club, and the club actually started at White Waltham, an Air Britain event. And the Luscombe Club, that's a little bit newer than that. I'd been talking to their chairman, Nigel Barrett, for some years and getting him to form a club, and he's done that now. And his club, and the Vintage Piper Club, and our club, what we try and do is, as many times as we can, is to form up at different places, even sometimes informally at other fly-ins, just so we can keep all the classics together. I mean, they're affordable. If anything can be affordable today, they're affordable. I mean, we originally paid £10,250 for this aeroplane 20 years ago. The value of it today is probably somewhere in the region of £15,000 to £15,500, which, if you compare it with a lot of the aeroplanes around at the moment, is still very, very cheap. It does about 3.5 gallons an hour. I've taken it Ireland, France, and all over this country, and 99 times out of 100, if we go anywhere, what we tend to do, we put the tent in the back, and all the other provisions we need, and sometimes cooking provisions as well, and we literally go off and just have some fun. And flying's fun anyway. But one important issue about the type club we run and all the other type clubs is that without the opportunity being given to us by the LAA, we wouldn't better have a type club. So, and the permit system is absolutely ideal for us, because we can work on the aircraft, and not only are we working on the aircraft, we're getting to know the aeroplane, and the more you know it, the safer you are with that aircraft. But as far as this particular aircraft is concerned, I mean, it might concern some people, the fact that you wouldn't be able to keep them running, the fact that it's 65 years old, which is only fractionally older than me, but the parts are still available, and some of the parts which aren't available can actually be obtained or built, which for instance, some brake parts I've had manufactured in this country, and we can distribute those to other Aeronca owners. So there you are, you've got an aeroplane which is affordable, and our type club specialises in constant emails to everybody, not only in the Aeronca Club but all the other type clubs around. So if anybody requests anything in any way, we're able to put a location out, or for a part, information, photograph, etc. And 99 times out of 100 we actually find this for them, which is great. And coincidentally, I've been having correspondence with somebody in America recently. We've been helping finding him parts, and that's strange, because that's taking coals to Newcastle. This aeroplane was built in America at Middletown, Ohio, in 1946, and this particular one flew on the 19th of October at 1600 by a man called G.A. Griggs. He took it up for 25 minutes. That was the first time that this little thing left the ground. When I first formed the group 20 years ago, the costs then were £15 an hour, and one of the reasons for that was to try and get the cheapest, most economical flying, but still a lot of fun flying. And nowadays it costs £40 an hour, which is still very, very cheap. The monthly rate is £50 a month, and the cost of a share is £3,275. So if you were going to, this is a 6th share, there's 6 of us that are actually partners in this, and the fact is that, like, we've got 1 or 2 people that have come through over the years and they're building their own aeroplane and they need tailwheel experience, so they've come through, we've taught them tailwheel experience, and then they've gone on with their own airplanes. There's other people that have come with us for a year or 2, like what they've seen, and then they've gone and bought their own classic. Not always an Aeronca, it might be an Alaska or something else. So it's a good introduction. The group has proved excellent for introducing people to tailwheel at a reasonable price, and then in many times it's moved them on to their own aeroplane or the aeroplane they've built. So it's been a good grounding really for many early LAA people that have learnt their both mechanical side and their flying side with the aircraft. So bless its heart, I've done something like 1,500 hours in it myself, without all the other hours that have been done by the group members. So it's worked very hard, and in those 20 years it's brought us an awful lot of fun. We've toured, you know, all over the place, Europe, well, when I say Europe, let's be France, areas of France, because one of the things about an Aeronca is you don't go anywhere fast. In fact, the 2 words speed and Aeronca don't really go together. And it cruises about 75, 80 knots or thereabouts, and it actually gets off the ground very quickly. I mean, I have operated singly just on my own out of a 250-yard strip, but normally it's more comfortable if you've got about 400 yards, and then you can get 2 people in and out of there quite easily. I'm based at Bodmin, and as I say, the group is called the Southwestern Aeronca Group, and we're quite well known in the area as the Swag Boys or the G-IVOR drivers, because after all the registration is Golf India Victor Oscar Romeo.